Hi guys, it's Susanne and welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna see some book recommendations similar to Crescent City. First, let's state the obvious. If you haven't read the rest of Sarah J. Maas books, it's a very good moment for you to do so. I really recommend you to start with Throne of Glass, and I actually think that this series is way more similar to Crescent City. And in here we will be following our main girl Selena, as she is just this very dangerous woman that has been imprisoned in these kind of mines, and the prince of this kingdom will come to retrieve her and have her as his champion in a set of tournaments. It's kind of a life-death kind of deal, and while doing so she will start to discover a world of magic, of monsters, and a little bit of her powers. This series is large and the scope of the story, it's massive. It really changes. We will have kind of two parts of story. The first one will be just like these kind of tournaments, more small in scope, and then from book 3 onwards just the story gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's really similar to the scope that we are starting to see in Crescent City, right? Like you have a massive world and you have a lot of different characters playing a role here. We will have witches, we will have humans, fae. It will go to a massive length. Continuing with Sarah J. Maas,
but going for a little bit more of a steam,
I really recommend you to go to the Court of Thorns and Roses series. This series for me kind of embodies these chosen one trope, but it also has a lot of family found vibes that Sarah J. Maas always has in her books, and you know, like the temptation and the longing between the different characters.
and it's super spicy.
The main story will be following Fairy as she has killed a fae without really wanting to, and so she is kidnapped to this world of the fae, and she is now aimed to pay kind of a tribute and be there for a while. Book 1, it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and we will be following her relationship with the Spring Fae king of this realm, and there's a massive threat that is endangering the different realms, and we will see how Fairy plays a role here. However, if you are like, yes, Sarah J. Maas is there, but I've already done that, now what? I really think that going to Jennifer L. Armentrout with From Blood and Ash is a safe bet. We'll have some hints of paranormal setting, we will have a lot of romance, and we will be following our main girl Poppy, and she is this veiled girl that is supposed to play a very important role for this kingdom, and so as a result she has been kind of like isolated and no one really is able to talk to her, and she's supposed to be having this very intense moment, kind of similar to the drop in Crescent City, in which she is supposed to access more power and she will change the society, but there's a lot of mystery around this moment, and she only knows that she has been preparing all her life to do so. She has been trained all of her life, so she is kind of a warrior in spirit, and she also has a lot of curiosity about the world. And so one night she decides to get out and she crosses paths with this sexy ward. They have kind of a moment, but they don't see each other never again until they do, and their paths, you know, kind of blend from that point onwards. This is super consuming. You will be hooked to the pages, I told you, so really just give it a try. And another series that I've just discovered and I'm
Oh my god, so obsessed
with them, it's the Zodiac Academy, and I really think that if you like Sarah J. Maas Crescent City, this is a safe bet for you and that you will enjoy it. I think this is the best thing to cure hangover, and this story will follow our two twins as they have lived all of their lives in the human realm. They believe they're human, and one day one professor comes to retrieve them and tells them that they are in fact heirs to the Fae realm, and they're like, yeah, right, of course, but nonetheless they decide to go with this professor and they arrive into this Zodiac Academy. Upon arriving, they learned that everyone there has kind of an element of power, so fire, water, earth, air, and they also have an order. They can be dragons, they can be werewolves, that sort of thing, and this land is now ruled by the different celestial heirs, and they are like a massive threat now to this kind of realm that they are ruling, and they are tested by the elements, and surprise surprise, although the normal thing is to have just one element, they have the four of them, so they are very powerful but very untrained, and they have just found these super enemies, which are the different airs, which are also like pretty hard. The story, it's just so interesting, plot driven, but at the same time it's fairly character driven, because we will be able to see the different perspectives of the sisters, how they really have very different personalities, how they face the situations, and I really think this is a great addition, a hidden gem. But I also believe this will also kind of scratch that itch. It's the Black Witch, and this story has paranormal elements. This girl that her powers are not really clear, but she will nonetheless play a role. We will also have different male characters that are
fantastic.
We will be following our main girl, and she is the granddaughter of the Black Witch. This Black Witch was kind of like the most powerful witch of all time, and she was the one kind of leading a war, which aftermath was that the society is now very segregated into the different races, and the witches are the one that holds more power. And our girl has lived all of her life in this small town, very far away from the city, very far away from the power. But when the moment arrives for her to marry, because this society, it's really like conservative, like woman needs to marry at some point, and from that moment onwards you won't be able to touch even other man, because if that happens you will be burned, you know, like it's that kind of very weird vibe. When that moment of the betrothal comes, she's able to defect it a little bit by going to the university, and there she will meet a lot of different people. She will meet werewolves, wyverns. It has this Pangera kind of vibe to it, and we will see how our main girl needs to move away from her very limited mindset. She is actually very racist at the beginning. She's very trained on how witches are the best ones, and then she will need to face reality and maybe start a riot and an uprising. If you are a little bit into angels at the moment, why not give Rhapsodic a try? This is part of the Bargainer series, and we will be follow our main girl Calypso, as she is a siren. So she is this gorgeous woman that can, when talking, persuade people to do whatever she wants. And so it seems that she some years ago have a
weird, strange relationship
with this winged demon kind of vibe called the Bargainer, and he gave her a lot of different favors, but these favors are always to be paid, and as a result she has like a massive bracelet full of favors that need to be repaid. She doesn't know how those favors will be repaid, and she hasn't really known anything about this Bargainer for a while, but a lot of time has passed by, and one night this Bargainer comes again knocking at her door and asking her to help him figuring out something that is going really wrong in his realm. We will see the relationship between the two, the longing, and we will also have this detective-esque kind of vibe that Bryce has in Crescent City. And last but not least, another story that follows a powerful girl that needs to avenge and cope with a very close death. We will have Kingdom of the Wicked and Kingdom of the Cursed. And in here we will follow Emilia, who is a witch, and her sister is killed. And from that point onwards, Emilia decides to follow this revenge path, starting from discovering who was the killer of her sister and, you know, just get things resolved. And in order to do so, she one day called upon a demon called Wrath. This demon, it's one of the 7 princes of hell. So we have Wrath, Envy, Pride, and all of that. And we see how the fate of the two will blend, and how between them we'll try to figure out what are all of these murders about. It's not super spicy, the first one. Second book, a little bit more, but you feel the longing and you feel the banter between the two. And that was it for today. I really hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I really hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye!